Hey everybody! Welcome to Squirm. I guess I'm basically taking over this channel at this
Well,
point. I mean,
welcome,
what?
welcome to SquareComs. We play games, I think.
We're here to talk about our hopes and fears for the Mario movie.
From what I hear, the announcement of the cast listing apparently traumatized Pedro and Dwibs.
Yeah, audience, you don't really have the
Pedro
full
and
context because when we recorded officially the direct, we were more just not exactly fresh from it. We already knew about it. But the first time we watched it, at the very least, Dej and Pedro went absolutely hysterical at the Mario movie cast announcement.
Like, really? It got you guys that badly?
I was laughing too, not as much as Ben, but I really was laughing too, Jovah. It is like that dumb.
Seriously, Illumination are... Well, they're like the Epic Games Store level of Monkey Paw. We wanted more competition for the field. Said competition ended up arguably in some cases being worse than the monsters already there. Okay, look, here's something. Illumination do still make some good movies here and there, but it's like, it feels like ever since the first Despicable Me movie, they felt like they didn't have to try anymore.
That's not even that. This movie also was in development for God knows how many years at this point. At the very least 4, if I recall correctly. Like, it was ever since 2017, actually. And it's already enough to, like, it's supposed to be released like 5 years after that,
And yet we don't even have yet a snippet of what it looks like. Just, again, a cast listing that Nintendo were
That's
so
also
proud of that they announced during a Nintendo
okay,
Direct of all things.
There are several major red flags about this. One, Illumination, which the internet exaggerates on how bad they are. Number 2, the casting, which broke everyone in half. And number 3, Miyamoto's involved, and people have been hating on him since 2012. So it's like, okay,
it's abundantly clear that these casting decisions were done by Illumination.
Yeah,
like it's
this is
pure,
peak Illumination type of casting.
Now look, maybe these casting choices, maybe they had to go for rigorous auditions and they somehow ended up being the best. Maybe in some godforsaken way, Chris Pratt really is the best guy to play Mario.
That's also the thing.
Keegan-Michael Keel, of all people, is of course great to play too.
I was about to mention instead, like the one thing that we mentioned before is actually we don't know yet about how the movie looks like. For all we know, we might have the characters with a costume redesign specific for the movie, and we will not even know that.
Okay. Let's get something out of the way. Given that Nintendo is heavily involved, and the reason why they chose Illumination was because the theme park, which is owned by Universal,
which is getting updates actually now.
I know for a fact that they're not going to drastically redesign the characters. You saw those CGI openings for Super Nintendo World. It's pretty much going to look like that. So,
okay, I haven't seen those, but I take your words.
We'll see if that is the case.
I know the character designs for Illumination movies like Despicable Me, Secret Life of Pets, but hell, not even the Grinch had this typical Illumination stuff.
I don't mean that, I mean, in terms of actual exclusive stuff, someone did theorize a couple of concepts I've seen on fan arts where the overalls of Mario and Luigi, rather than being the standard that we are, have an actual look more like what an actual plumber would wear, more similar to say the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, something like that.
We'll really have to wait and see. It
Yeah.
could be something that looks good, could be something that looks bad. But again, the major issue people do have is the casting situation.
Yeah.
And yes, replacing Charles Martinet only to have him do some random cameos here did sting quite a bit.
And we don't know what they're going to be.
Let me put it like this. They should have at least given us a preview of what each character will sound like if they didn't want people to have worries here and there.
I mean, okay. You know what I see this as? Remember when Mario Plus Rabbids got leaked?
Mm-hmm.
And we all thought, I was like, oh god.
Oh god, oh man.
And the receipts are right there. I can go on SMB and we can see, and I have all our reactions there.
I forgot if I ever posted mine, but it probably
You posted,
was.
I'm so fucking livid.
Yeah, probably that.
All the same, Didge, given the conditions with Ubisoft at the time, you cannot blame people for having that initial reaction at it. Yes, we can go all about how hindsight is 20/20 here and there, but again, if we blame people for their reactions back then, that's like blaming the people who were excited for Mighty Number 9 back in the day. Like,
Oh, no, yeah, I know. I'm just saying. It's more like the leak helped us get our frustrations out of the way. So now that we can prepare for the worst. And then maybe it might turn out to be good.
Again, I say this, though, maybe they are planning to show... Well, obviously they're going to show a preview of the movie eventually, but...
I'm expecting Mario Day, so March 10th.
I'll just say this. Just announcing the cast and using part of a Nintendo Direct of all things to do it without even giving a snippet of footage feels like, well, weird even for Nintendo to do, I'm not gonna lie. And unfortunately, a lot of this cast does scream star power. Don't get me wrong. It
has the same energy as what's this? Everyone making Tom Holland should play this guy.
Yeah.
Like, no, stop. Get out.
Okay, so look, I'll be fair. I could maybe see Charlie Day being Luigi, okay? I will give him props there. Seth Rogen being Donkey Kong? That can work.
Mm-hmm. If you've seen Seth Rogen in most, like, for example, like, okay, to Seth Rogen's credit, because not a lot of people have seen this movie, there's a movie called 50-50, where he stars together with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's a movie about coming to terms with terminal cancer. It's actually a really good drama movie, to be and Seth Rogen is kind of there to serve as kind of the comedy relief character to make sure the movie doesn't get too depressing, you know? And he does a good job in handling any kind of dramatic moments that involve him, and at the same time providing humor that doesn't distract but actually relieves properly. So he is a good actor who can handle good movies, and he is a very funny voice, and he has good comedic timing. So I can definitely see him being a good Donkey Kong, especially because his voice has the right timbre.
Especially the laugh.
Yeah, I can see him as Donkey Kong, but that's about it really here.
Everyone...
Taylor-Joy, I guess we'll have to wait and see about Anya Taylor-Joy.
As for... Okay, and you know what? The other one good bout voice acting, I'm sure, is the Sebastian
Maniscalco.
For Spike, because, some reference stuff here and there, but from what I've heard, he's apparently a good pick. That said, everyone else, we'll save the obvious one for last. Let's work our way up. First, Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong.
I've never heard anything he's done.
Me neither.
I
might, but I honestly don't associate the name with this guy.
After that, Kevin Michael Richardson is Kamek. I'm just gonna say it. Kevin Michael Richardson can do a high-pitched voice here and there. But God, would he have been better to play Bowser?
Unless that's the joke that Kamek does have, a lower pitched voice in this movie.
And Bowser has a higher pitched one. That's going to be an awful joke.
Oof.
The biggest interesting thing is that Foreman, Spike from Wrecking Crew, and Cranky Kong are going to be in this. This is going to be the first thing that we see Mario and Cranky in together. No, that Mario cameo in DKC2 doesn't count.
They'll probably have it be that Mario's grandfather called Jumpman faced Cranky Kong back in the day.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have
by Charles Martinet.
We're probably gonna have a small gag where it's like a mini montage and say, "Oh, I used to do this back in the day," and we showcase a set of steals that represents the original Donkey Kong game.
Frank Armisen was Brainy Smurf.
Or, God help us, they're going to pull a Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice and have it be that the Mario in this movie is actually Mario Jr. Whereas the original Mario is the Mario we all know and love, but he's not really in this.
That Game Fury out of here.
Honestly, don't put it past Illumination. They They are the faces of creative bankruptcy. Keegan-Michael Key as Toad.
No. Okay,
Okay,
audience, you don't know probably by the time we're making this public, but by the time we're recording this, we're already done. We already commented on one prime example of why Keegan-Michael Key doesn't really work for this kind of comedy, and it's The Predator, where they completely gave him carte blanche for that, and he wastes it big time.
Let me go like this.
So,
Keegan-Michael Key is a good actor.
You also have to realize that The Predator was also a bad movie.
Okay.
No. Again, material is important. The material of which the actor has to work with, I totally get that. But, it's also the type of performance we normally do.
Okay, let me just put it for the record. Keegan-Michael Key is not a bad actor. He is a very good actor and a very good comedian. Provided you use him right. Needless to say, okay, The Predator kind of used his more crass side to its angle, but that was to tell some of the worst jokes known to mankind. And to be fair...
He was in Toy Story 4 and did a good job. Oh, no, I acknowledged it. No!
Yes, you did. Congrats, Dad. You just played yourself.
Whatever. The point is that, again, I don't have much trust in Keegan-Michael Key for the role of Toad, to be honest.
He's a good actor, but... Why Toad?
But what I just said...
Take this with a grain of salt, but I've heard some people on Twitter say, whenever I hear Keegan-Michael Key yell and whatnot, I always think of Toad. So I was like,
oh God, okay. Don't you dare tell me this casting is a result of memes. Oh God, it is.
Look, if we had Tom Holland in there, I would have agreed 100%.
No, let's go on to Princess Peach. Anya Taylor-Joy. I have no idea who this is. All I've seen
I know she's in the Queen's Gambit, and
I know her. Sorry, go on.
But I haven't seen any of those.
I know her from Split and Glass.
Again, the main thing I've just heard people meme about her is that, oh, now Peach will be gay or something. Like, is there some context I'm missing?
I don't know.
I actually don't know that.
Queen's Gambit. Maybe.
I guess it's maybe. Oh, wait, she was in Queen's Gambit, wasn't she?
Yeah, yes. She's the main character.
Okay, never mind. Then yeah, she is a great actress. It's just that
hers. Peach.
I guess. Okay. Based on her role from Split and Glass, I can kind of see, because unlike Queen's Gambit, she's playing a much more average girl in those movies.
But in Queen's Gambit, she's like a complete serious, no nonsense girl, and like.
Well, she's versatile, and to her credit, she's not to blame for Glass. None of the actors are.
Have we ever seen her in a lighthearted comedy film role or whatnot?
No, I only know her from those 4 movies.
So I'm really wondering why choose her for Peach, like.
Again, I was about to mention, it's not just also the actors. We have to actually see how these characters are actually used in the actual movie, what kind of personality they will have. Because probably, they're probably going to have Peach being the usual thing that Hollywood loves to do these days by having the princess in distress archetype, now being the super badass character who needs no one to save her this time around.
Also, Jovah, there was one comedy that she was in, but I don't think you're prepared for this.
What?
Movie
Saturday
43.
Night Live. She was a host.
Oh, well, no surprise there. Loads of people have been hosts for that show.
Like Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, that was a couple days ago.
But yeah, so anyway, Anya Taylor-Joy. Congrats.
It can go anyway for me. It depends on what's gonna happen with the characters.
Now let's get to the second degree burns with who's playing Bowser. Jack Black. Okay.
Look, Jack Black is a fantastic actor. He can work with most roles. Bowser just doesn't seem easily seems wrong type casting.
Like,
I can't imagine Jack Black as a villain. That's the problem. He should.
Hold on, Jovah. Have you ever seen Neverending Story 3, Dej?
Nope.
Just be ready and schedule in a couple of months when I actually pick it.
Remember it this way. Neverending Story is one of those where you definitely, knowing you would like to pretend that Twin 3 never existed either.
You know what? I'm fine with 2, 3. Just
but anyway,
delete
but
that.
anyway, but
Regardless,
anyway.
though, Jack Black as a villain has never worked, let's just say. Well, okay, maybe as like a typical bully or whatnot.
Yeah, it's
Well,
not, it's not even that the kind of a villain, Jovah. It's either the type of voice that is given. If you played the Psychonauts 2 recently, he voices a character in Very Nice Fantastic as usual, but it really fits for the kind of voice, with the way the character looks, fits the kind of voice Jack Black can give. Same goes for the character that he voiced, the main protagonist that he voiced, in Brutal Legend. But here Bowser, even in all the other previous incarnations where it wasn't a stable voice actor before, even when Sunshine tried to do it, at least they got a general idea what kind of voice Bowser should have, this more deep stuff. But unless Jack Black is given, a filter for that, I can't hear it working. I'm
Now,
sorry.
Okay.
Have you seen Shark Tale by any chance?
Yes.
I wish I could forget
You know
it.
when he voiced
Lenny.
God, what was his character?
Lenny, the
Lenny?
vegetarian
Yeah,
shark.
when he was fighting the shark slayer and how he was trying to be intimidating.
Yes.
I feel like they're going to go with that direction, but they're also going to play up Bowser's more comedic side.
Okay, let me put it like this. Yes, Bowser is one of the more comedic Nintendo villains, to the point where some have even memed that, he's not really a villain when you compare him to the likes of Ganondorf or Ridley. That said, the charm of Ganondorf is, I'd say, akin to someone like the Monarch from Venture Bros, in that, yes, he seems silly, but he has the potential to be one of the most devastating villains ever. When you cast, okay, maybe we can give the benefit of the doubt and say that a lot of these actors are going to break character type, with this movie. That said, again, when it's a studio like Illumination at the helm, more often than not, they're usually playing those character types to the letter with actors here and there. I'm not going to give them the benefit of the doubt and think, suddenly we're going to see a super serious Jack Black. And you know what? Bowser doesn't always need to be super serious, but he does need to be credible as a threat. For as many times as he gets beaten. I'll give Mario Odyssey credit. They did up his threat value there by having him beat Mario in the first few minutes of the game, and pretty much get closer than he's ever gotten before to marrying Peach. In fact, he literally only didn't get to marry Peach because he just wanted to set up the best wedding ever, damn it.
Always one step ahead and all.
Whereas, again, with Jack Black, I'm not saying it's going to be like that, but having Jack Black as Bowser does send warning bells as to what the script may have in mind for Bowser. That's the thing about Jack Black as an actor. It's not even that I fear what he'll act as Bowser. It's just that his presence normally, more often than not, gives you an idea of what the script is going to be like.
If it's Kung Fu Panda was good.
Well, okay, one, Jack Black wasn't playing the intimidating villain in that one. He was more so the hero who...
Okay, what if they go in the direction of Hades from Hercules?
Elaborate.
You know how he's a despicable character, but he's like that guy that you want to party with, even though he is a douchebag, because he's so hammy and whatnot.
I could see them doing that with Bowser. The main concern is just what voice they're gonna go with for Bowser, because again, Jack Black is, I'm not gonna say he's completely non-versatile, but he's not the most versatile guy when it comes to different voices here and there.
And yet it's still probably better in terms of association than the number one honcho on the list.
Okay,
Let's
yeah.
go to Charlie. Let's go Charlie Day as Luigi. This I can actually believe.
Well, actually, Dej, we kind of already covered Charlie Day as Luigi in the sense that he was
did?
one of the good choices. Remember, basically, we covered who were the good choices on the list before getting to the iffy choices on the list. But, okay, to recap with Charlie Day, I feel like that could work. If his stuff in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is anything to go off of, heck, even his stuff in the Lego movies, yeah, he could work as Luigi. It still is obviously a star pick, but it's a star pick that I feel could work.
All the memes, people have done some animations where they have had these voice actors or have the actors be Mario
Yeah.
characters.
Yes.
So it's like I can see Charlie Day, I can sort of see Jack Black. I definitely saw Seth Rogen. I was like, yeah, that makes way too much sense.
But we're gonna talk about the real big elephant.
The
in
real
room.
star of the show.
Yeah, the Star Lord of the show.
We're talking about Christopher Pratt as Mario.
Okay, look. Nothing
Uh,
against Chris Pratt's character. You know, he seems to be a decent guy.
We're also not going to talk about certain controversies surrounding him.
Just strictly
Like
as an
that?
actor.
Yes.
Okay,
I'll explain
yeah.
later, don't worry.
Chris Pratt as Mario caused quite a tidal wave surge across the internet. And I cannot blame anyone. If he somehow turns out to work out for Mario, that's fine, but as for where we stand right now, I'm gonna say it. Charles Martinet probably would have been just better.
This
to
is
cast as
this
Mario.
is somehow, again, we just talked about Jack Black and everything, and even he, in terms of relation to Bowser, seems more fitting than actually Chris Pratt as Mario. The closest we get to a performance similar to the one that we might get for the movie is the characters, he has multiple, that he did voice in the Lego movie duology, you know.
Let me put it like this. If Chris Pratt somehow manages to put on a voice that's similar to Charles Martinet, well, the question's gonna be, why didn't you just get Charles Martinet if he sounds similar? And if he sounds vastly different, well, of course you're gonna tick people off. Like, here's the magic of the Sonic movie.
No, alright. I'm not trying to discredit him, but I have been looking up some things. He can't pull the voice for a while. Maybe that's the reason.
Who?
Charles.
What do you mean?
I get the idea what Deji said. He works better for shorter bursts, more than, you know, an actual full theatrical kind of role.
I mean...
And people say, but what about WarioWare Gold? And it's like, here's the thing. That's Wario. The Wario voice is less strenuous.
I would
than
say
his
this.
Mario voice. And even then, like, I looked at some of the voice stuff for Get It Together and the promotional stuff because they were cheap.
In Get It Together, Wario barely talks.
I said promotional.
I don't even know what Nintendo did for that because it's such a departure for WarioWare Gold.
Okay.
I said in the promotional stuff, not
sure. Go ahead.
Hear me out on this.
It did feel like he wasn't also maintaining that voice as well either. So maybe that's the reason.
Again, here's the thing. We don't know enough of the context in that regard here and there. And again, it's not like he's ever gotten the chance to really voice Mario as much, but honestly...
Yes, an E3 booths and whatnot.
Like, I wouldn't say E3 booths are really the best thing to judge off of, given that, you know, it's nice when actors can do that stuff on the fly here and there, but, it's not always the best circumstances of which they do step in, as opposed to, say, in the safety of their recording booth, where they can do multiple takes here and there. Again, I don't feel like we know enough. And, you know, look, I'm not going to say, like, it had to be Charles Martinet for all the be-all, end-all here. It's just, again, with how everything was presented, is it any surprise to left a sour taste in people's mouths? And again, there's nothing concrete to say that Charles Martinet couldn't have done that all. And even still, given the process of the movie, who's to say that he couldn't have just done it in, you know, the different scenes or takes here and there bit by bit? Like,
I mean, yeah, obviously.
I mean, again, maybe pull some strings with the guy who's been lending the Mario voice all this time.
Yeah, because it is kind of messed up that you're the guy who was voicing a character that is as iconic as Mickey Mouse, Bugs Bunny, and SpongeBob, and not being reprised.
That's a good segue. That's like if Nickelodeon and Paramount made the SpongeBob movies and they cast literally anyone else besides Tom Kenny for the character.
Or this one bizarre. This was a rumor that like may be true because like the source has worked inside the industry. When Pokemon the first movie was coming out, and since Warner Bros. were publishing it, they were considering getting Leonardo DiCaprio to voice Ash. And like, no, wow, that sounds bad. That sounds really bad.
That kind of decision almost sounds crazy enough for me to want to see it. But regardless.
Just see, here's the thing about Chris Pratt, because I've heard people talk about, oh well, here, look at this way, like they got banned to voice Sonic in the Sonic movie, and it worked, right? Well, here's the thing. See, it's going to heavily depend on what exactly they're doing with Mario. Okay, we know that, like, for the reasons that Deji already said, we know that they're not going to be redoing redesigns, but is Mario's personality is going to be like he is in the games, as in he's going to be the everyday hero type of character? Because unless you heavily change his personality, I don't see Chris Pratt working. Because the reason Ben worked is because the Sonic we see in the Sonic movie is an inexperienced young Sonic who's still figuring things out. That's why Rogers wouldn't have worked as Sonic in the movie, because Rogers' voice fits better for a more confident, cocky, older Sonic. It's going to be very dependent on what exactly you're going to do characterization-wise.
If you allow me to build off of your example, hell, I mean, not just that, but let's also look at the reaction to the announcement of Idris Elba's Knuckles here. The casting here for Mario caused mainly fear and cringe. That said, though, yes, you could say maybe there was some meme potential, and that's why people like Idris Elba's Knuckles, but no. Idris Elba could legit work as Knuckles. We have heard him do roles that suggest it could work as Knuckles here and there. Again, I'd argue that with Idris Elba as Knuckles, we have more reason to not be as fearful. Granted, it did also help that we've seen the first Sonic movie, which showed that they can get good direction.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. So it's like, Jovah, you have to remember, when the Sonic movie, before the first trailer, there was some cynicism surrounding it.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
The prep, it wasn't, it's not just like, I'm making up, it's like, it's live action. The fact that Sonic is going to be in the human world and be best friends with a cop. The casting was also met with cynicism. Like, well, why isn't Roger voicing Sonic? Why is Jim Carrey Eggman?
I guess the reason a lot of people were doubtful is because Jim Carrey hadn't exactly had what we would call a winning streak.
No, it's not even that. It was just like the premise, everything surrounding it did make people, go, what is going on? Like this, but it only took the film to come out, and then people were like, "Oh, wow, that was decent." So again, there are circumstances surrounding that.
It's like I said, it's not impossible that this movie could turn out a win. What I'm saying is this movie has, as far as we know, even more strenuous circumstances than the Sonic movie did. It has a very controversial film company behind it, and the cast list again screams more star power than anything. At least with Ben Schwartz, even with Ben Schwartz, some people could see him as Sonic given again some of his past roles here and there and his typical sounding voice.
Even that, with Ben Schwartz as an actual voice actor.
I mean, so is Chris Pratt.
True. That is the fair point. Chris Pratt
he's done voice roles before Guardians of the Galaxy.
He was in Onward as well. That being said,
wait, do you think the reason why they got him was because of when he shrunk in Onward? So it's like, hey, he could make a good Mario.
A permanent voice filter. Again though, Chris Pratt, good actor. But again, it's that even based off of the roles I've seen from Chris Pratt, I just don't see him working as Mario unless it's a different Mario. And if it's going to be a different Mario with, if Deji's theory is to be believed, the same look as our typical Mario here, well then, what the hell are you even doing?
See, and I also want to address, because every time something like this happens with a movie, like when Kristen Wiig was cast as Cheetah, and stuff like that. Every time some kind of weird casting like this happens in a movie, whenever you see stuff like that, people immediately talk about, you don't know, you need to watch the movie before you can judge. I mean, look at Heath Ledger. He surprises as a Joker. Well, here's the thing. That doesn't mean it's going to happen every time. There can be such a thing.
Of course.
Because people who it's the same thing when they're look at the Russos. The Russos never directed an action movie before Captain America: Winter Soldier, and look what they went on to do for Marvel over the years. See, yes, that's the thing. that doesn't mean it's going to happen every time you go out of your way to do something so wild as this.
Yes.
It's just by assuming that this kind of thing happens all the time, you're basically diminishing the accomplishment of Heath Ledger and the Russos by basically assuming everybody can do it.
But here's the thing: we're also diminishing that. We're also assuming that it's going to suck because we don't know. It's like we need to see a preview or a trailer for us to have a good impression.
I will say this: what is frustrating?
So I feel that should be the better argument to be made.
So here's my issue, though. Like, well, at least with the Sonic movie, what that trailer showed was that they needed to fix the look of Sonic. Once they fixed the look of Sonic, overall, the movie itself was relatively fine, despite what some people may think here and there. But here's the thing.
I'm gonna be honest. Even if they did have like the design that we know, the first trailer was pretty bad.
I would argue it would. Okay. That you cannot tell me that it would have gotten as nearly blasted as it did back then.
He doesn't look. I was like, oh, he looks cool, but it's like the trailer still wasn't really good itself.
Yeah,
That's a.
I can agree with that. That trailer did not show off the movie's strongest suits. Fair enough. That said, here, what I'm getting at is like, well, with the Sonic movie, what it mainly boiled down to was listening to fans and fixing the design. Here's the thing with this Mario casting. If the cast doesn't land with, audience by the time of that first trailer, either they have to redirect the crap out of stuff, or just barrel and double down with the cast that the fans have decided that they don't like if that first trailer doesn't work. And, well, it's not as easy a fix as, say, the Sonic movie was. And okay, I'm not saying that the Sonic movie was an easy fix either. What I'm saying is, like, well, compared to just, having to redesign the main character, this would be potentially needing to nut up and just admit, okay, we screwed up with the cast, we're going to start over from scrap here and there. Like, again, this is what makes it all the more frustrating that they couldn't have been bothered to have just shown us a trailer or whatnot. It's like, they really, Illumination must have really thought we'd be excited with this news just alone.
Because guys, it's people who are in the MCU. Please be hyped.
It also does. This is just me following movies, but it's like movies always announce a cast before they show a trailer. It's like, yes, this is your Suicide Squad. We'll show you a trailer in a year or so. So that's why I'm like, I feel like we're complaining about the wrong things. Like, yes, the reception is not good, but I was like, all right. You have to win us over now because you already played your cards. Let's see the full results.
Honestly, to me, this came across as just like they needed something to fill some spot in the direct, and this was the best they could come up with. Like for example, recently something similar happened where we got genuine, undeniable leaks of the GTA trilogy, and as a result, Rockstar was forced to announce the trilogy way before they were ready to show anything.
But, yeah. So, okay, needless to say, the cast, it's a very... Okay, to put it nicely, it's a mixed bag. To put it not as nicely, not really getting high hopes on this. Again, there are like 3 or 4 actors I can see working, and even one of them I am absolutely not sure about. The best picks were definitely Charlie Day, Seth Rogen, and the guy playing Spike.
Maniscalco.
Yes.
Side question, but I think we don't know yet. Do we know who the composer is gonna be?
No.
Like if they even knew if they even knew anything about what they're doing, which I doubt they do, but on the assumption that they do, they will get Harry Jackman to do the score because he's the perfect person. Like he's one of the best. What?
No, the problem is that this is Illumination, and they're notorious for saturating their products with very little scores and a lot of very, very famous, super catchy pop songs.
They literally made a movie out of
DreamWorks
it.
effects, gotcha.
basically.
For those who don't know, Harry Jackman is one of the most prolific Hollywood composers right now. He did the scores for both Wreck-It Ralph movies, the Detective Pikachu movie. He also did Puss in Boots, very underrated score, by the way, and movie in general. Harry Jackman is a gamer himself. He even did scores for some games here and there, like the two latest Uncharted games. So he knows his video games. He would be the perfect Hollywood composer to get for this movie. But that would require good decision making on their part.
For context,
I want to compose it. Brett Kirkhope.
Oh,
said he wants to do it.
Oh, definitely. Like, Kirkhope would be a great pick. I was trying to pick someone within the realms of possibility because I don't believe they would ever get an actual video game composer to do this.
He also composed Mario plus Rabbids, so who knows?
Pedro is telling Brett Kirkhope might not be picked because he had never scored a movie. Maybe there's that.
I'm trying to pick something within what I think is the realm of possibility because I'm not seeing
Hans Zimmer.
Oh god damn it, I was literally about to make this joke.
Well, Hans Zimmer's scores for kids' movies are actually pretty great.
Yeah, Kung Fu Panda.
The thing is that Hans Zimmer is always experimental, so I cannot even begin to imagine what kind of weird shit he can do with the Mario themes.
Who was the guy who composed Pixels?
Pixels had a score?
Yes.
God damn it! I forgot whatever he might have had. Oh, Dad, you already forgot Pixels?
I never saw it. So
Mario was in that movie.
That I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, don't. It's bad.
Mario
really
was in that
bad.
movie. How nice for him.
Deaf.
But
yeah, Mario has not had the best movie career, to say the least.
But yeah, again, that's another thing that I mean in terms of developing this movie. Actually, before the official casting was released, a popular, copy pasta used starting on /B, but then propagated on the rest of the internet, was basically again this fake copy pasta about a fake trailer that included, among other things, like a Kesha song used in the trailer. And considering again Illumination and everything, I can start to believe something like this with this kind of cast can happen for the first actual trailer, and I'm scared as fuck because I really don't want the movie to go through this direction.
That's the thing.
Right,
so far,
is now the perfect time to have our predictions now that we've gotten everything out of the way?
I'll just say this last thing to Tio. You're kind of onto something, Tio, because so far the memes about a Mario movie have been predicting the future. Like, oh, just like we called it, Jack Black is in this movie.
There is also one thing to mention. Chris Pratt actually released a small TikTok, I think, video where he kind of Instagram, but he took a bit of a joke when he says, "Don't worry, guys, the voice will be different when the actual movie starts." We'll have to see how that turns
means.
out.
I mean, okay, look, to go back to the Sonic comparison, when Ben Schwartz was announced to be voice Sonic, he was in an interview with Larry King, rest in peace, and he said, "Hey, so can we hear a snippet of how he sounds like?" And he says, "No," because he's obviously under NDA, so that also happened as well.
Fair enough.
Alright, so one other thing that I forgot to address. The rumor, because someone's LinkedIn, because I never got it, said that the directors for this are the Teen Titans Go creators. Ooh. And they also wrote the Teen Titans Go movie, which everyone told me is good. So it's like, there might be a chance.
The only thing we need to be careful with that is that if we apply a similar thing that Teen Titans Go did, as in what kind of addressing the audience might be. Because when Teen Titans Go had to talk about their audience, particularly insulting them, they were very obnoxious and not funny about it. So if the movie,
I've seen everything.
Yeah, what I was
meaning is all the episodes. Damn.
No, every self-aware clip.
So, what I mentioned, if the Mario movie will actually try to address some of the criticism that he got in development, because a couple of movies tried to do that. Don't forget Ghostbusters 2016. I get the idea that it's not gonna be pleasant to look at.
The only reason why I think that's not gonna happen is because Nintendo is heavily involved, and they most likely put a gun towards Illumination's head.
Not
to mention, this movie did the CEO of Illumination must have been doing something right that he's now part of the board of directors for Nintendo.
Here's the thing, Dej. Yes, they say they're heavily involved. Okay, they say that, but so far it's not really showing.
We haven't seen a trailer. We have to find out.
Okay.
I'm just gonna laugh if this movie ends up being even worse than the original live-action movie.
Nope. It can't. Nope.
It is possible, Dej.
Nope.
It is very well possible.
I refuse.
I
Dej,
live long enough to see that this kind of thing can happen, so yeah.
I said I second Deji because, yes, it can happen. Yes, they've made Teen Titans Go, but that doesn't necessarily...
They were one of them was the creators of Batman the Brave and the Bold. And he even wrote the Music Maestro episode.
Yeah.
Why they didn't advertise that instead is beyond me.
Yeah, that's good. That's true. But because Teen Titans Go is more popular among kids.
And also they also did the Thundercats 2011 reboot as well.
That was good, but got robbed heavily. Regardless, though, here's the thing, Dej. Yes, we acknowledge the potential for good, but we also have to acknowledge the potential for bad. And there have been plenty of cases where we thought, oh, this is the worst a franchise gets, only for something absolutely worse to come out. Like, Highlander? People thought Highlander 2 was going to be the worst it got. And it stayed that way for years until Highlander 5 came out and usurped Highlander 2 as that. Just never underestimate Hollywood's potential to suck even more than it already has.
Yeah. Jovah's right there.
I can't imagine anything being worse than that movie.
But yeah, to be fair... But yeah, no, it is fair. To be fair, yes. Those directors, who knows, maybe they can do something differently better when they have a property like this. The directors of Sausage Party, who I've heard is apparently really bad. They made the two most recent Adam Sandler movies, which I have enjoyed personally. I know I know critics hate on it, but I enjoy them as a fan of the franchise in general.
Anyway, let's go through these predictions.
All right, so I told everyone to write five predictions. So
you told me 3, Dej.
Or whatever.
You told me to write 3.
You can come up with 2 on the fly.
Sure, why not? You guys can go first.
To predict what will happen. And you know what? I want Jovah to go first.
I'm going to predict that Cranky Kong will, in fact, give a flashback memo that will tie into the plot or something about how Donkey Kong is carrying on the tradition of gorillas having to go up against plumbers. But, yeah, that's pretty much my first prediction. That we'll get a diatribe from Cranky Kong about how he was the original Donkey Kong, and Mario's grandfather or whatnot was the original Jumpman or whatnot. And there's this long tradition. But then it turns out Donkey Kong and Mario have to work together to save the damn Bowser.
Oh, yeah. Pedro, you want to go for your prediction?
My first prediction is that they're totally going to have a joke at the expense of the original live-action movie. I'm confident we're going to get some kind of take that original 1993 movie type of joke. Maybe they're going to have something where they try to have something like, oh, look at that Velociraptor type character. What is that thing? Is it a Yoshi? Nah, not really. Could you imagine? Or something along those lines. We're gonna have.
That sounds like something Dwibs would write.
You see, the best jab I can think of the movie is that Mario is going through his wardrobe, looking through his stuff, and that's the movie outfit. It's like, oh, I remember this. This looks nice. Let me put one day.
Again, I actually did like the costumes from that movie. So
yeah, that was the best part of the movie.
So okay, is that your prediction?
That's my first prediction.
Yeah.
Go on.
Okay, I'm gonna start with a warm one. A poor acknowledgement or a gag on the "lol, Mario does mushrooms, so he must be on drugs" meme.
No.
Okay, I'll admit I have seen a movie that did manage to do that sort of thing well.
Don't forget, Regiment. PG and PG-13 movies can still have acid trip lack of sequences if we are
Oh yeah,
bored.
I saw that door movie.
I-
Oh yeah.
That's actually the example
So,
I was thinking of.
I
Seriously.
get the idea that they might do something like that, just like an obnoxious kind of way. Like say, "Oh, I'm gonna get the mushroom," something like that. And we're just like, "No, not that one." Yeah, and we spend like
Although,
the next
here's
2
the
minutes with psychedelic imagery.
I recently found out Mario doesn't eat the mushrooms; he just absorbs it. The only times where he does is the Mario and Luigi or the RPG stuff. In the main game,
Are you okay? Are you absolutely sure it's not a case where you say, "Oh, Mario used to break blocks with his hands, but now it's his head or something"?
no, it was TV Tropes has a page on it called Common Knowledge. Me
Okay,
and my friends were reading it yesterday, so yeah.
all right, but that's my first prediction. What about
Alright.
you, Dej?
All right, here's my low-hanging fruit prediction. Since we know that the movie comes out in December of next year, and you know what happens in December? The Game
Yeah.
Awards. So we're going to see a snippet of it, and it's revealed that Jeff Keighley will make a cameo in it.
Oh God.
Yeah, that would have to be pretty late into December, though. Well, that or maybe it's... Okay, maybe it'll be early December.
No. The Game Awards is like early December. This movie comes out December 22nd.
I was talking about the movie itself would have to
Yeah.
be in later December if like, we see a preview of it at the Game
a
Awards.
quick snippet, like a 30-second snippet or whatnot.
I get the idea that by that time, the full trailers would have been released already,
Yeah.
so we would know more about it anyway.
So
Yeah,
if
but
anything,
I-
a
I-
30-second
like, you know
snippet
how-
would be kind of just weird to do if we get
Yeah,
already
but
full-length
it's
trailers.
Jeff. You know how he is about Hollywood and whatnot.
And we know what Joseph Ferris think about that.
Exactly. So anyway.
Oh god.
next,
Okay. You
Jovah.
know what? If it turns out Joseph Ferris is in some way involved in the Mario movie project,
I find that unlikely.
I might start to have more faith in it.
Joseph Ferris, who would Joseph even play in the Mario movie?
He
A
would...
random MTC.
Okay. Question: could you see him playing Mario?
Obviously not. Let me put it this way. He's just as unfitting as Chris Pratt, but unlike Chris Pratt, I would be like, you know what? This screams disaster all over it, but I'm interested still.
Yes,
Also, geographically, he's closer than Chris Pratt to actual Italy, so there's that.
True. Okay.
I can-
Alright, Jovah.
That being said, I got it. I can totally see Joseph as Waluigi, though.
No.
Oh my God,
We're gonna
that's
get Willem
perfect.
Dafoe as Waluigi. Come on.
Anyway, for my second prediction, I'm
I'm
gonna predict that we get an origin story for Mario.
Yeah,
The question, Joy, is will it be similar to what is shown in Yoshi's Island or something different?
Maybe it'll just be like, oh, Mario and his brother Luigi were born in Brooklyn, which is technically the original canon before we got the whole
New Donk
story
City.
thing. No.
Sorry.
Brooklyn is still his home, but I'm talking about, before the whole stork thing and Yoshi's Island stuff.
Mhm.
Well, if this is anything to go about, it's called New Donk City, but yeah, it is based on, New York and stuff like that.
It's absolutely based. Go on, Dad.
You know what? Since Jovah has a similar prediction to mine, let me go. All right, because it's like we have Cranky and Foreman Spike. I'm also on the origin stuff, but I'm gonna go one step further beyond. It'll open up with the stork carrying Mario and Luigi to their parents' house, and you see a heartwarming scene of the babies. Baby Mario's like, "Oh, that's so cute." And then, once this movie is a success, then we're going to get a Baby Mario spin-off film down the line. This is our fate. I'm sorry.
Okay, Lumina.
I'm also.
Is it
Lucina.
referencing Sonic Shuffle? Oh, okay, never mind.
I kinda can see where Deji's coming from, to be honest, on this one, and I'm scared about that.
Yeah.
Again, don't put it past Illumination.
It's not just Illumination. We're also going through Muppet Baby Syndrome this day with Total Dramarama, Baby Nuts.
Baby Looney
and it's
Tunes,
like,
yeah.
Baby
it's
Looney
like,
Tunes
we-
was
we
years
already-
ago.
No, Baby Nut was last year.
No,
Jovah.
Des, I said Baby
Oh,
Looney Tunes.
I just mentioned an example. Deji
Oh.
did mention others.
Oh, I'm
but-
talking about in recent times. Like even Muppets
Sorry.
Babies came back. Like and the Boss Baby. So it's like, yeah. And not to mention Nintendo has always been on the baby train because it's like we always get a baby character in every console Mario Kart, and people are sick of it.
So is that your second prediction?
I have a
Yes.
prediction.
Go on, Pedro.
Go on.
Knowing these writers, the Teen Titans Go guys, I'm thinking there's probably going to be some kind of reference to the "Excuse Me, Princess" meme. I get
That's
that
more
it's,
for Zelda.
but
That's
remember,
Zelda.
the cartoon was part of the Super Mario
Okay.
Bros. Super Show.
Okay, not necessarily a compromise, but more like a fusion of the thing. Mario does that, but someone else reminds me, wrong game, you know.
Not to mention, Teo. Like, I'm pretty confident we're gonna get other Nintendo references aside from Mario, probably.
You see,
so-
I would
Okay,
agree
I
with
would
Pedro.
like to hope that they aren't going to do the Scoob thing and try and make an expanded universe right on the
No, no, no.
first bout.
I don't think they will. I'm just saying there's gonna be references to other Nintendo franchises, most
Ah.
likely. Well, at least not for this first movie. I don't
Well,
think.
I feel like we're gonna get a Donkey Kong movie out of it.
Sure.
Oh, is that your third prediction?
The only reason why I'm like, I want to agree with the "excuse me, princess" joke, but it's like Mario Odyssey.
He's not like
I-
that.
No, it's more like Nintendo is very strict on what you can or cannot reference. It's like, is it from anything we made?
Yeah, that is true. Nintendo is being very strict in trying to not reference as much as they can the cartoons. So
There is, if you want. All right, so Mario Odyssey, they were the song "Jump Up Superstar." The translator said that, oh, he wants to put in a lot more references in the song, and Nintendo was like, no. Like the closest you ever got to a CDI reference was Great Wide Wacky World.
Well,
Yeah.
Odyssey has referenced the 1993 movie. So that.
but anyway, that's your second prediction, Pedro. I take then.
Yes.
Okay, for me, I'm gonna go the next low-hanging fruit, but I know that it's just probably petty, but just to mention, someone either dabs or flosses or does both at
that's
different
gonna
points in the
happen.
movie. Sonic did it. Sonic did it
Luigi
twice.
did it in Mario plus Rabbids.
So it is probably gonna be as cringy as it can get. So
I
yeah.
feel like it'll be a very blink and you miss it situation. It's like
I hope so. I really hope
it's
so.
like what just because it's like they're not afraid of acknowledging that, but it's like when Luigi dabs, it's very subtle.
Mm-hmm. But
So
anyway,
it's like,
that's
I'm expecting that.
that's my second prediction. So that means third round.
Yeah.
How
Sure,
many
I'll-
predictions are we gonna do?
Five.
Five.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
For my-
remember, Pedro, you told me I already have 5 right off the bat, so I'm like, okay.
Right. Sure.
All right, let's
Jovah,
see.
your third one.
For my third one, I wish. Okay. As for Charles Martinez's cameos, I'm gonna guess that one of them is going to be as Mooks, and another is going to be as the grandfather of Mario, Jumpman. And hell, maybe we'll have a dream sequence with Pauline where she's also voiced by Charles Martinet. Because it's an Illumination movie, and screw you.
Would have been so
let's
great.
have any faith in this.
It would have been so great if Pauline were to be in there. It would be so great if they could kick Kate Higgins to play her, but
Honestly, I've come to a point where honestly, I more so ship Pauline with Mario than Peach these days.
sure.
So yeah, again, would be nice to have Pauline, but knowing Illumination, we'll probably just get it as some sick joke more often than not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next.
Pedro.
I predict that they're gonna have the story be specifically. They're gonna basically reinvent Peach in a way where she's gonna be a super duper capable fighting type character, because we can't possibly have her be a damsel in distress, because that's antiquated and stuff like that. I'm genuinely believing that they're not gonna do the typical. Which keep in mind, I don't mind that. It's just that I genuinely believe we're not. The very fact of Peach getting kidnapped is not even going to be a thing at all in this movie. Not even going to get an acknowledgement of that running gag in the games, because nowadays Hollywood movies hate that trope. So I genuinely believe Peach is going to be a completely reinvented version of her character.
In which
She's going to be like
again, I'm
just a super capable physical fighter of sorts, probably, and they're probably gonna have some kind of "I don't need no man" type of joke.
I'm gonna build up on that with my third prediction, because it's actually very similar. Peach is gonna tell at some point or multiple times that she needs no man to save her in a very obnoxious tone, but only to be actually in distress later on. You can decide if it's just because like that, because it's intentional, or because the writers genuinely forgot to actually remove that kind of thing, it's just unintentional.
Is it sad that the ideas you guys mentioned would probably fit better characters like Daisy or Pauline, but knowing Illumination, of course they're gonna apply those attributes to Peach, because screw you.
Well, Peach is the most iconic of the three ladies, so they're just going to do that because they know that Peach is the more recognizable of the three ladies.
And yet, surprisingly, she was the only one of the leading ladies not to show up in the Super Mario Brothers movie. No, instead that was Daisy and Pauline. And
that
yes,
wasn't Pauline, that was someone else.
No, Dej, Word of God mentioned that Maricela is actually Pauline because Pauline's like her middle or nickname or something. It's sort of like how it turned out that the king who got turned into fungus is actually King Bowser.
God, the more I find out about this movie, the more I'm like, no, this movie was actually bad.
This is a mistake of mankind.
But when you realize like the development history is like, Jesus Christ, the way it even turned out was a miracle.
I still don't understand what the hell is up with that cult following the bloody movie has.
Okay. We can discuss that another time. Let's stay focused on this movie.
your third prediction.
Okay. Now, this is going to be the most hopeful one that you're all going to laugh at me for.
All right, let's have it.
Yeah,
all right, so as we know, Nintendo really wants to make their IPs bigger by expanding in the movies. And we know, and through interviews that I've been following, the CEO of Illumination is determined to make this good. Not in a typical PR, but it's like, there's an interview with Miyamoto saying that he understands his passion, and he even told him a secret that convinced him to do it. What's the secret? He ain't telling us. So, and with how he's now part of the board of directors, I'm gonna say this. This is going to be Illumination's highest rated film of all time.
What, by critics?
Yes.
I mean...
Their highest rated film is the first Despicable Me with 81% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yep.
And I'm going to go as far and say that this is going to be nominated for an Oscar. It's not going to win. It's not going to win. But especially since Spider-Verse 2 is coming out next year. So, but I feel like this is going to be Illumination's redemption. I'm also going to say, like, it's going to be a legitimate good movie, and, like, audience will also like it. And though, at worst, it'll be like, yeah, it was okay. I laughed a couple of times. Like, that's the worst possible reception we'll get.
I find it funny how you're more hopeful about this movie getting into the Oscars than the Sonic movie was.
Just as in, like, they pull a Spider-Verse and a Peanuts. That's what's going to happen.
All right, what about your fourth prediction, Jovah?
Fourth prediction. I already said Mario will team up with Donkey Kong, but They're totally gonna have jokes at the offense of millennials in this one. Typical Illumination.
Okay, I can attach to that because again, my fourth prediction is similar to that. We're gonna have some kind of joke, any kind of joke, at the expense of Italians of some kind. Maybe it's about the food, maybe it's about the way they talk, or the hand gestures, because that's always a classic, But there's gonna be something that's gonna be making to ridicule Italia. Maybe even play a bit about the gibberish that Charles Martinet did for some of the games, like the RPGs. We'll have to see. Pedro?
For me, I genuinely think there's going to be some kind of in-video game type joke, as in like at some point one of the characters or even more will be playing some sort of video game which is like a mock Donkey Kong type of video game.
I mean, so it'll be like the great mission to rescue Princess Peach, where it opens up with Mario playing a parody of the game.
Sure, I'm confident there's going to be some kind of joke of that kind that's going to be see video games, because Mario. I genuinely believe there's going to be some kind of joke about that.
Anyway, whose fourth prediction is missing?
Edges, I think.
Okay. Yes, I already mentioned. Okay, since that Donkey Kong and Foreman Spike and Cranky is here, I feel like this is gonna be more of a celebration of the franchise as a whole. Like it'll establish its own thing, but it's like it'll honor what the series is rather than being a parody of itself.
We can pray.
Yeah, but that's what I get. Also, once this is successful, Illumination will tackle a Metroid movie, but it won't be comical. It'll be their first.
I hope so, because at best the Metroid series, when it comes to humor, the Metroid series has more that kind of snark or like small doses, kind of tongue in cheek.
Also, Brie Larson will be Samus.
I wouldn't mind that. I mean, Samus' character is extremely easy to do. The entire reason why people still bitch about SCWRM is because they really went too far in the other direction. But
it was 7th gen.
Samus is just really easy to characterize. So I can even accept someone like Brie Larson in the role. Anyway, fifth prediction. Jovah?
Blatant sequel hook. Because they really are expecting this to be a big success.
Yeah.
It will.
Like, that's the thing, it's like, we don't even know if it'll have to do with its actual quality. It's just because Illumination have some means to black magic here. Well, that's the most annoying thing about this movie. It's sort of a similar problem with Disney. It's the Illumination model in general. It feels like they don't have to try as much. Like, look at the Sonic movie. That one did have to try. Lord knows it did have to try. And no, Dej, you cannot tell me it did not have to try after the absolute spanking it got in the media from that first trailer alone.
Jovah, there's something that we need to clarify here. That movie was already finished from the get-go. All they really changed was the character designs. There weren't any reshoots or major reshoots that we know about or changed the scripts. It was pretty much changed to make Sonic look better.
That's the thing, Dej. By usual studio standards, the fact that they actually listened to fans on it was nothing short of a miracle.
It was because people hate. They were banking on, all right, fans will hate it, yeah, but normies.
Let me put it like this. It came from a point where they actually did have to try. Like, let's be honest. If it was somebody like Disney behind it, they probably would have just trucked on with it because they can afford to take a hit or whatnot here and there. Like, look at the Artemis Fowl movie. The trailers up to that point got nothing but hate. Did Disney listen and maybe try and fix it? Nope. They just... Well, okay, at best they just moved the movie to Disney Plus for it to die, essentially. So, like, no. But compared to a lot of studios, they did actually have to try with the Sonic movie.
Again, it's just changed. There's more to it because like Artemis Fowl, you have to change the script and whatnot to make it work.
But
This one is just changed the design.
Here's the thing, though. Studios never seem to take into account, maybe if our trailers are universally hated, maybe we should just delay the thing, nut up, and redo it, and that might actually make us more money in the long run. Like, they always seem to feel like, oh, well, that's it. And yes, I do get it. There can be stuff like budget issues and whatnot. And there can be just some examples like the Island of Dr. Moreau where the thing is unsalvageable. Just get it out for God's sake. But there are so many projects where they could have fixed it and saved it, but just chose not to, and knowing a company like Disney, they'll just go, oh, well, the thought is that people don't like the source material instead of us just screwing it up, and then it'll go on ice for quite a while.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, my fifth prediction, because it's also very short to say, is gonna be, okay, a Seth MacFarlane-style type of gag, where...
Goodbye, alright.
No, it's not a cutaway gag, but it's more a case of Mario, maybe it's like an action scene, or maybe it's just using a trailer. Mario jumping onto a Koopa actually has the effect of the Koopa actually dying, nothing too gory obviously, but just dying. And then like the music cuts and Mario looks awkwardly at the corpse. He's like, oh, nothing's happening, or something like that. That's intended to be like a kind of a more adult kind of joke, but then it feels spectacular at it.
Man,
that's my prediction.
Man, we this really is the most cynical we've done.
Dej, I have the expectations are below low.
I know.
Again,
like,
okay, Des. Like you yourself said, maybe things will get better when we see more, but again, this is all we have to go off of. And so far, what we've seen so far is more or less confirming our fears so far.
I am glad that none of us have gone the Seth Rogen will smoke weed. It's like, no, they're not gonna. An actor does not do the same.
I'm not used to that. Yeah. Anyway, Pedro, what about you?
I'm pretty confident that the overall tone and the overall structure of the movie is going to be very similar to the Emoji Movie. Let me explain. And for the record, I'm not even one of those who talks about how the Emoji Movie is the worst thing that's ever been created by mankind. Honestly, I just find that movie to be just a generic bad movie. I can't even bring myself to be mad about it, to be honest with you. I've seen far worse. But I can definitely see this movie being very much in the same way, where it pretends to have a heartfelt story, but the writing is terrible, and there's a lot of cynical pandering and
that's also a good
placement in it.
Yeah, I was about to question, like, just for you, in following that kind of segue, how much do you think the movie will be a commercial more than anything?
I'm pretty confident there's going to be a lot of because it's Illumination. Like, they're going to have a lot of pandering and a lot of commercialism in it. So yeah, I'm definitely, but the movie's still going to, I guess, of course, try to pretend that it's heartfelt and somehow has integrity, even though it doesn't. I genuinely believe there's going to be something akin to those, because I just don't have any faith in Illumination to pull any of this crap off. And those guys, and I just don't have any faith in any of the people involving it. Yes, I know the whole Nintendo is heavily involved thing, but
let me put it like this.
See, here's the thing. Let me explain something. About Deji talked about the Redemptions movies that we talk about. Here's the big reason why those movies worked. The Peanuts movie worked because, guess what? That movie was written by both the son and the grandson of Charles Schultz, the creator of Peanuts. That's because the Schultz estate only allowed Blue Sky to make that movie with the condition that they would write the movie themselves. That's why the movie's good. That movie's good in spite of Blue Sky, not because of them. Second, Spider-Verse was given to us, as Avi Arad himself admits in the behind-the-scenes DVD features of the Blu-ray, which I have and have seen. That movie is the brainchild of Peter Lord and Christopher Miller,
aka the winning formula to Hollywood. That will always guarantee a good product.
I'm
looking at you, Disney.
I'm not saying Look, I don't get what you're trying to say with that.
He's
but
talking
the thing
about
is-
Solo.
It's more like it's like just those two. Trust them; they will do no wrong.
They're not invulnerable. But that being said,
the first two Jump Street movies are fine, but they're not the best.
That being said,
But,
yes, Disney did screw them over hard with the Solo movie.
Solo, because it was like, oh, it was too funny, and then Spider-Verse came out that same year, and they won an Oscar. Oops.
Yeah, but no, like, see, here's the thing: the big difference between this movie and those two movies being redemptions is that they actually accidentally found themselves with people who knew what they were doing. I don't really see the Teen Titans Go guys really. They're definitely not on that level. Definitely not. So I
We need
don't
to
really...
watch the movie once we're done.
Which movie?
The Teen Titans Go to the movie.
I mean,
Teen Titans Go movie.
okay, look, this. The movie is good, decent. But even still, even with it being better than we expected, it ain't great, it ain't amazing. It's...
I have to judge it for myself.
Oh, wait. Have you not seen it?
No, because I didn't care. But
Well,
then everyone told me, "Oh yeah, the movie's good." So now I feel like, great, now I have to.
I really feel like the hype from that was just the fact that it wasn't as bad as we were all expecting. And trust me, given
Also, Tara Strong was telling people,
Oh,
"Hey,
God.
if this movie does well, you'll get a season 6."
Yeah.
Right.
Let's be honest. I've always thought like that was the main reason everyone was hyping that movie up because, well, again, it's about where a studio holds a product hostage unless this does well. So of course fans feel the need to defend or raise that up because they really want something else in that regard. Because studios can suck like that.
That's my basic point. I genuinely believe this is going to be like on the same level as the Emoji movie.
Yeah.
Dej, your final prediction, please.
Alright, now this is the most insane prediction out of all of us.
Daring today, aren't we?
Yes, I am.
There is no Mario movie. The Mario movie is Call Your Mom. She's afraid. She's worried about you.
Okay, now I have to change my prediction. Alright. So, as we know, Hollywood likes to follow a trend.
Yeah.
And you know what the biggest trend in Hollywood is right now?
Cinematic universes.
Well, that I feel like that's dying, but now the new trend is the multiverse.
Are cinematic universes really dying? People still seem to be
because
trying.
they tried to do it with the Lego movie and it failed. They try. DC is still what we're doing.
It's working fine for the legendary monsters.
So why a multiverse with Mario though? Like Mario's never really had a multiverse thing. Like, oh, even Sonic has more of a reason to do that since the Soul Dimension was more or less an alternate dimension of his.
They're gonna do what Captain N does and have everything be full of warp zones.
Hey, Pedro gets me.
Also, I get the idea what Deji is saying is that because, the actual games operate on a lot of different alternate universes, like, say, the RPG are in their own thing, the 3D games are in their own thing.
But it's like we're going to go a Mario fan service multiverse trip.
And guess
so we're going to see Wario Man. We're going to see Giga Bowser.
and guess what, Dej? If they're gonna make this a Nintendo multiverse, that means Zelda's gonna be somewhere in there. Meaning
No.
They're
They're going to strictly stick this with Mario.
There's different Marios. Oh,
yeah.
So
We'll get a reference to the Super Show. Maybe we'll get John Leguizamo, Luigi in there. We're gonna get a Queen Peach. Where she
Kind of sad that the live action actors for the Mario Super Show are actually dead.
Yeah, all of them are dead, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like this is it. We're entering the multiverse with this movie. And the main villain is going to be Fawful.
That's random.
it's interesting too. Like apparently when Miyamoto learned of Captain Lou Albano's passing, he himself was also sad about it. So apparently Miyamoto
I really
did
like
him
his
as Mario.
performance, actually.
Yeah, no, he was fine. He's just given terrible writing to work
Yeah.
with.
Yeah,
Hey,
but
he made the
Louis
best
also
out of it.
was so dedicated to the role that he was saying, "Hey, if you want, I can legally change my name to Mario."
Man, fuck you, Luigi. Go ahead, Edge. Are you done?
But yeah, that's gonna be my prediction for the sequel, multiverse.
So that wraps things up, I suppose. We'll just have to see how the movie
Yeah,
comes
but
out.
I need to know in terms of video game movies.
Yes.
Okay, what's the worst video game movie that you can think of right now?
Oh, that is tough. Are we talking strictly about movies based
Any
off of
movie
video
that's
game
based on a video
plots?
game, I'm guessing.
Yeah, any movie based off a video game.
Am I copying out by saying Pixels?
I haven't
Yes,
seen
you are.
Pixel. I haven't seen Pixels.
that's
Wait,
Pedro,
wait,
you
wait, wait, wait!
copy-
No,
Yes, that's
Pedro! You were literally in the commentary with us for Pixels.
I was.
Yeah.
It must have been really bad.
I'm
Yeah,
going to be
it
honest
is,
with you, Jovah. I don't remember anything from that movie.
Danger. What if I told you that the final shot is a set of babies that are born from the actor who played Olaf in the Frozen movies and a female video game character that turns out to be Qbert?
What?
Yeah, I know. I saw that scene.
Yeah, I get the idea that Pedro got the brain bleach first.
Yeah, like,
But like in terms of, all right. So the high mountain is the Professor Layton movie, and the lowest.
That's the thing, I can't really think of anything else that managed to get at least to that level. I think it's fine. I just don't think it's like supreme perfection adaptation.
Oh yeah, no.
But that is the Ivar, I think.
Yeah, the high or as Jovah, it's the best video game movie to you, Sonic.
it's one of the best ones.
Okay, which is the high bar?
Well, sadly, Sonic is in that high bar because, again, let's be honest, most video game adaptation movies we've gotten are crap. Like, again, the Sonic movie is a miracle in multiple ways just for managing to not be bad, while also managing to be pretty great still, but regardless.
Okay, I found something. Movie does have a good fair share candidates for the worst. Maybe In the Name of the King, but to be honest, I've never played Dungeon Siege, so I cannot tell.
I'm gonna go with Uwe Boll's Blood Rain movie.
Ooh, Blood Rain was... Well,
Especially
okay,
because the
okay.
series recently is being revived.
Is Blood Rain worse than the Mortal Kombat Annihilation?
Oh no, I'll take Annihilation any fucking day.
Annihilation is entertaining.
I can actually have fun with Annihilation.
Yeah.
That movie's a fucking blast if you want into full riffing mode. Blood Rain doesn't even have that escapism. And Blood Rain is just painful. Ugh.
What a waste of Billy Zane of all actors.
What?
Yes, who of all managed to get Billy freaking Zane?
But
Okay, no, wait. Here's my low bar. Like from Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li to the Sonic Layton. How in which range are you guys confident that this movie will be in?
More.
Like, you think it will be better than Ratchet and Clank?
No.
I don't even like that
not.
movie, and I don't think it's gonna be as good as that.
God, that movie is so terrible. Like,
Yeah.
people kept saying, "Man, it's before Sonic, it's the best video game adaptation movie." I'm like,
The only thing I can give to praise to that is the animation. That's literally it.
I really do. Again, I'm gonna
the
say
voice acting, because at least for the English version.
I do get the feeling the reason people were praising that was because they wanted something new from the Ratchet and Clank series, and no, the 2016 game does not count.
It's like whatever.
It also does a bad job at introducing me, who was unfamiliar with that franchise.
It really does.
It does, yeah. Honestly, to me, this probably on the same level as the Prince of Persia movie. In a sense that it's not
I still have not seen that movie.
In the sense that it's not the worst, but at the same time, it's just average at best and boring at worst. Like it's probably going to be one of the, again, like I said, it's going to be like the Emoji Movie. It's going to be one of those movies where it's a bad movie, but it's not even like a spectacular failure or anything. It's just a generic bad movie. I genuinely believe this movie is going to be the worst kind of bad movie. The bad movie is not even fun to riff into. So yeah,
I'm
I'm gonna lean towards Prince of Persia.
What about you,
Well,
Danger?
I'm gonna say it's gonna be better than the first Angry Birds movie, which it was something I really did like, especially the message that, hey, it's okay to get angry.
You know what? You are very optimistic about this movie.
Look, someone in this group needs to be optimistic. Okay. What about you? Where are you on this?
Okay. It's gonna be worse than the Ratchet and Clank movie. It's not gonna be as good as the Angry Birds movies. Like I said, there's a chance it could be worse than the Super Mario Brothers live action film.
Nope. I can't. No. Look,
you know, Dad.
Starts off with dinosaur with the death of the dinosaurs. I'd be like, but what if the dinosaurs were actually in a parallel world? I was like, no.
I'm curious, Dad. How heartbroken are you gonna be if this movie actually does end up being worse than the movie, the live action one?
I mean, not heartbroken. I'll laugh it off.
Like, again, look at franchises like Predator. Like, we all thought it couldn't get as bad as it got with the Predator, and then the Predator happened.
Predator movies have gotten worse ever since the first one, so it's like the bar was so low.
Again, though, that's the thing. The Predator managed to just defy expectations in how bad it was. Look, never underestimate anything's potential for good, but also don't ever undermine its potential for bad either.
I mean, yes, of course. But I guess my base of reference compared to Nintendo and who's involved are those Pikmin shorts, which were really good. And Miyamoto worked on those. I think he was the storyboarder for that. Like, it was his idea. And the same thing with the Star Fox Zero short.
The puppetry one.
You know, I'll admit...
No, that was for the commercial. I get what you mean, sorry.
I'll admit, if this turns out to be the start for a Smash Bros. Cinematic universe...
Well, yeah, we're not getting that, relax.
I'm saying if it was, that might actually make things worth it.
Anyway, I think that's pretty much it then, so we'll see what happens when the first trailer rolls.
Yep. See, when I get these free guys back for when we do a podcast for Injustice. Bye.
Yeah.
See ya.